Hello everyone, I'm Miss Sunny and today we're going to go over integers, what they are, how we use them, and how we can actually use them in real life situations. So let's get started figuring out what exactly integers are. Integers are whole numbers. There are positive, negative, and then we also have zero, that is an integer. Now, how you know exactly how integers work is basically by using a number line. So if we were to draw a number line here, we know 0 would be in the middle. We have positive numbers, 1, 2, and 3. And then we also have negative numbers, negative 1, negative 2, and negative 3. Alright, these are all integers here. So what that means is everything to the right of 0 is positive. So that also means everything to the left of 0 is negative. And we're just going to put negative for short, just like we did positive. So how this works in real life? Well, we have positive and negative numbers. Like I said, each one of these are integers. And now we can see how we can add and subtract numbers like you've normally been doing. So hold on just a moment and let's do a problem. Okay, so now we are representing integers. I gave you a problem up here, 5 minus 2. So if every black dot represents a positive integer, then every blue dot is going to represent a negative integer. So negative and positive. So how could we represent this? Well, we said black would be for positive, so we can draw 5 black dots. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. For our negative, we would represent 2 blue dots. So we have 1 dot and 2. Well, this comes in where you learn about zero pairs. Well, a positive and a negative is always going to equal 0. So we can kind of cancel them out. And so it's called zero pairs. When a positive plus a negative cancel and equal 0. So we can do that. So since we have a positive and a negative, we know that's like saying 1 minus 1 because we know the negative is shown by a negative sign. And then we have a positive. So a positive plus a negative equals 0. So we can cancel these out. So we have the 1 here, we have the 1 here. So now we have 4 left. Well, we have one more zero pair that we can do. Let's erase that one and that one. So our answer is 5 minus 2 is equal to 3. Well, can we do it the other way also? What if we had a negative 5 plus, a negative 5 plus 2? Well, what does that equal? Well, now we have 5 blue and then 2 positive. So now what can we do? It's the exact same thing. We still have 2 zero pairs that we can get rid of. So we know a positive and a negative equals 0, so we can get rid of that. And a positive and a negative also equals 0. So now this time we are left with a negative 3 is our answer. When in the original problem, it equaled a positive 3. So that is how integers are working so far. Alright, so we just understood how to represent integers. Now we're going to compare integers. So what that means is we're going to figure out which one is greater than the other. So the biggest rule of thumb for comparing integers is that your number that is furthest to the right is going to be the highest number. So for example, if I was comparing a -2 and a -3, which one is less than? Well, which one is further to the left? So -3 is less than a -2. So if we were going the other direction, which one was greater than? A -2 is further to the right, so a -2 is greater than a -3. We can do this with other numbers also. So let's say we did not need a -2 and a -3. Let's say we were comparing a +2 and a -1. Well, a +2 is furthest to the right, so therefore we know it is the greatest number. So 2 is greater than a -1. Just like we know, if we were to change this to less than, a -1 is less than 2. So we've compared both negative and positive numbers. Let's compare two positive numbers. Well, we're used to our positive. We have a 3 and we have a 1. We automatically know 3 is greater than 1, and we know 1 is less than 3. And if you forget which way your signs, remember the alligator, it always wants to eat the biggest number. So if you notice, it's always going towards the 3 in this example. All right, so now we're going to add some integers. Now how this works is when adding integers, the same sign, meaning if you have two positives or two negatives, you add them together and you keep the sign. So let's practice this. We have 2 plus 3, meaning they're both positive numbers, two positive numbers. So 2 plus 3 gives us a positive 5. Well, our next problem, we have two negative numbers. See the negative sign in front of them. So we keep the sign, so our answer is going to be negative, and 4 plus 6 gives us 10. So our answer is a -10. Well, the same thing for the next problem. We have a -25 plus a -3. So our answer is going to be negative, and 25 plus 3 is equal to 28. So our answer is a -28. And back to two positives, we have an 8 plus a 5, which give us 13. So that is how you add integers. Hopefully this helps a lot. Okay, so now we are subtracting integers. Now when you subtract integers, it's a little bit different than adding. When you have two different signs, you keep the sign of the largest number. So basically when you have two different integers, two different signs, you are going to subtract them and then keep the sign of the largest integer. So for example, the first problem here, we have a -3 plus 6. Well, we know our answer is going to be positive because 6 is the largest number. So what is 6 minus 3? It is 3. So there's our answer, and it is positive because the largest integer is positive. Well, let's look at the next problem. The largest integer here is also positive. So our answer is going to be positive. So what is 13 minus 4? It is 9. Well, I also wrote 13 plus 4 here, so we could see, I meant to say 13 minus 4, plus a -4. This is the same thing as this one here, which still gives you a 9. But let's see if we have a number that is larger. So let's take a -11 plus 5. Well, in this example, the -11 is the largest number. So we know our answer has to be a negative, and 11 minus 5 gives us 6. So our answer is a -6. Well, we'll try another one. We'll say a -8 plus, we had used 7. The highest number here is the 8, which is a negative number, so our answer has to be negative. So 8 minus 7 gives us 1, so our answer is a -1. And that is how subtracting integers actually work. You remember, if you have different signs, you subtract and keep the sign of the largest number or the largest integer. So the last part of the rules for integers is multiplying and dividing integers. So with that, that means is whenever you multiply or divide integers, the same sign will give you a positive answer and different signs will give you a negative answer. So let's practice here. We have a 1 times 6, so both of them are positive, so since they are the same sign, our answer is positive. So 1 times 6 gives us 6. Well, on this one, we have a negative 21 divided by 7. One is negative, one is positive. Different signs, your answer has to be negative. So 21 divided by 7 gives us a negative 3. All right, so now we also have a negative 15 divided by a positive 1. Our answer has to be negative because 15 is the largest one and we have different signs here. So I'm sorry, I said largest. I'm thinking of adding and subtraction, but we have different signs here. So therefore, your answer is negative 15. All right, and here we are over here, 24 times 2. Both of them are positive. So you have 48. 2 times 24 gives you 48. And the last one, we have a positive divided by a negative. So we know our answer must be negative. And what number times 9 gives us 36? 4. So a negative 4. Now, okay, so we have gone over the different parts of integers today, and I hope you've understood every single part. Because once you understand integers, that should make the rest of your math career a little bit easier, because once you learn integers, you never stop using them in your math classes. So if you didn't quite understand, go ahead and review the videos again. It's okay. Now, we are going to go on to order of operations, including integers, in just a bit. So I'll put some resources down at the bottom of the video in case you need to do a little bit more work on integers. I hope this video helped. See y'all next time. Bye.